I spend a lot of my time sawing wood because we've got a wood burner, and I've just been sawing up this old sides of an old chicken coop to burn on the fire. I don't like wasting stuff, and we feed the birds a lot, and summer is the time for preparing for winter, and winter is the time for preparing for summer. So I thought from the birds' point of view I'd prepare for spring and knock up a bird box, and I've drawn some rough plans here, and they are rough, and I'm not a carpenter, but what I want to try and do is make a bird box, particularly for the sparrows. We feed a lot of sparrows both through the winter and a lot through the summer as well. So I'm just trying to figure out how to put together some of these lats here to make a bird box, because the problem I'm going to run into is if I want the roof to slope, if I make the box square, so that like every face has just one edge on it, I'm going to run into problems on how to cut it for the slope. I'm sure people who know about woodworking will think it's easy, you just do this, you just do that. Right, well, I have made a few bird boxes, but I always have this same problem, and I always end up sort of botching it. Do I make a straight back so it's so that things not square like that? I think that would probably be the easiest, wouldn't it? And then bring the back up higher. These would have an angle cut on them, and then I could put a slopey roof on it, and then just drill a hole in the front. I think that's the way I'm going to go. So this is my total collection of hole drilling equipment, and we're looking for something 32mm. Well, that's going to be about 40mm, so we're looking for something smaller than that. What's that? That's 35. So at a push, I'll use that 35. .35 again. That's 30. That one's 30, so I'm going to go with that one at 30, and we can always widen it just a touch. So I need the arbor out of there, so I'll just transfer that over onto this, bring a drill out, we'll drill the hole. I haven't got round, well, I can't really justify the expense. I suppose it would save me an awful lot of time in the long run. Cordless drill. I have got one actually, but it's not entirely cordless because it clips onto a 12 volt battery. It's got no... Somebody had thrown one out because they had no battery for it, and I put some leads on it and some crocodile clips, and I can run it off a 12 volt battery. Right, this is, we want 32mm, this is 30, so if I just jiggle it about a bit we might get them extra 2mm. Right, don't worry, I haven't got my foot so far in the box that when the drill pops through I'm not going to drill my big toe off. I was beginning to wonder there whether the wood was too thick. It's just did it. So let's have a look at the diameter of that hole. It is in fact more or less spot on at 32, perhaps 33mm. So that should be sufficient for a Sparrow. So all we need now, well, we need two things for it now. We need a waterproof roof on it, and we need some means of fastening it to wherever we're going to finally locate it. But before I do put it up, I'll waterproof it as well. So, while we're at it, while we've got the drill out, we want some holes in the bottom just to give it some ventilation. So I'll get a normal drill just to do that with. So I've now basically got the box finished with the hinged lid. We've got the hole at 32mm for Sparrows. I've got ventilation there in the bottom, and all I want to do now is sand off the rough and sharp corners a bit before making a little catch out of some little bits of metal I've got and staples, just to keep the lid shut down tight. Put some sort of backing on it so I can screw it to the wooden fence posts or under the wall, wherever we decide the final location is going to be. And I'm also going to coat it with some of this shed and fence colour and protector. It doesn't protect that well, but it'll just help shed the rain off it a bit, because the wood is fairly open, so it'll just help shed the rain a bit. So I'll just sand it down and make the catch. Okay, we're not quite there yet. We need a bit taking off this. Right, that'll do. It's a bit Heath Robinson, but it'll do, and it's not going to need to operate that much. Right, I'll let that first coat dry, and then I'll put another coat on, and I'll perhaps put 3 or 4 coats on. It is water soluble, this stuff, so I'll just wash the paintbrush in some water. Right, well, true to form, it rained last night before this shed protector, fence protector had dried, so it washed most of it off. So I've got to paint it a couple more times and then it'll be finished. But I can't afford to drag the video out too long because I've got other jobs to do. So I will paint it more. I'll also paint underneath. And then I'll set it up. So I'm just going to go through now the setting up. Obviously I need to put a bracket on the back, especially so I can open the lid, so it's going to have to stand off when I put it on. But selecting where you put this after you've put all the work in to build it is very important. You've got to try and think like a bird, and a bird is fully aware of predators. So you want it first of all up at about at least 2 meters height, and so the bird feels safe going in and out. And also you want to think about where in your garden you're going to put it, because you don't want to be using that area and scaring the bird. I mean, the bird will tolerate a little bit of coming and going, not interfering with the nest box. I'm on about just passing by. But not if you're going to be angle grinding close by, chopping wood close by, or generally working close by. It's not going to tolerate that. So where I'm going to put it is up at the very top of the garden. Right then, so this is the top of the garden, an area we don't use much, so this is a good place to put the bird box. I'm putting it as high as I can, which is up on the top of one of these posts here, about there, when I get the bracket on the back. So that gives me a good bit of height, and it also means that it's currently about 12:30, so you're looking pretty much in the direction of the sun. So in the summer, when there's foliage on the back of this trellis, this is going to be shielded or shaded from direct sunlight. So that should keep any chicks inside of here a little bit cool through the summer. So that'll be the final position when I've put a couple more coats of protection on it. And then if I can get sorted out in time, I would like to put a camera in there, but whether I get round to doing that I don't know, we'll see. But I would like to do it. So it's New Year's Eve today. So I've still got a month or so before it has to go up, but obviously it just needs a couple more coats and then it will go up, and I might have time to make a couple more. So it being New Year's Eve, I'll just wish everybody a happy New Year, and probably this won't get out until the New Year, but I'll see you all again in the New Year.